All right, so this is an interesting video. I'm not a breaking news type of person, but I did see something coming out of Fuji that is interesting, and I kind of just want to talk. I feel like these videos are like conversations with a friend because secretly I don't have friends who like talking about camera stuff. So the internet gets to be my friend. So the rumor is that Fujifilm is going to be releasing a new camera, the GFX 100 RF, the everyday medium format camera. Now, this is, if you don't know, Fujifilm has like the GFX 100 line, which is their APS-C all-in-one camera, and that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a medium format all-in-one camera. It's going to have, I believe, rumor is like 27, an equivalent 27 millimeter lens on there, f3 something, and it's going to be a all-in-one medium format camera, so you can't change out the lens or anything like that. It's just like their GFX, just like their X100 line, sorry, just like their X100 line. Right now they're up to the 6. Personally, I've never found the X100 line interesting because it was limited by having a fixed focal lens in that size, right? If I'm going to have a fixed focal lens camera, I want it to be like a pocket camera. They claim the GFX, the X100 line is a a jacket pocket camera, but for me, a pocket camera is like the Ricoh GR3 line. So this is the GR3X, and I think this camera is the perfect pocket camera, right? It has a 40 millimeter full frame equivalent lens, image stabilization, USB Type-C, film recipes, snap focus, all that good stuff. And because it is pocketable, like literally front pocket, back pocket, jacket pocket, it goes everywhere with me. If I just want to bring a camera, that's the default camera that I bring. And a few years ago, if you would have asked me about a camera like this, I would have been really interested. Now, I wouldn't have picked it up because it is like it's rumored to be $4,000 to $5,000. Well out of my price range for a camera. But there was a camera, still is a camera, that I think is a really interesting camera from Fuji, a medium format camera. It was the GFX50R. So it's a rangefinder style medium format camera, 50 megapixel rangefinder, medium format camera that had interchangeable lenses. And what I found interesting about that was everything that they're talking about with this one, right? It was interchangeable lens. I mean, it was a smaller form factor than the big cameras at the time of the medium format. And because interchangeable lens, you could walk around and use it as like an everyday carry camera. Now, for a hobby photographer like me, it made no sense for me to buy it. It still makes no sense for me to buy this camera. Even now, the prices are pretty out there, right? But at some point, if it ever becomes under, like, well under $1,000, and I can get it with a lens for under $1,000, I would probably pick one up, because for me, that camera is in the same category as like my Sony A7 II. It's a camera that I've always thought was interesting. I always thought was amazing, and at the time I couldn't afford it, and I still can't really justify spending that much money on an old ass camera like that. But then I also think about the current cameras I have. Right now, I'm using the A7C. Well, I have an A7CR, but on here is a 90 millimeter Sigma lens f2.8 lens. Super tiny camera. This camera is also a rangefinder style camera, same as the A6700, A6100. Like, Sony has a few of these rangefinder style cameras, and I feel like this is a better option, or even like the Sony A7C2. An interchangeable lens camera is a better option than a fixed lens camera. And I say that even knowing the like Leica Q2, Leica Q3, I've seen a bunch of people who buy them. They're super excited about it because it's Leica. It's the Q line, which everyone talks about. But then after a few months, they sell it because for the price, it's pretty limiting, right? The A7CR isn't cheap, but I can have interchangeable lenses. So yes, this 90mm lens is on here right now, but as we're going on a vacation here in a few weeks, I'm going to bring the 17-50 Tamron f4 lens, and I can change that out, in case I just need a more versatile lens. But if I want to bring even like a 35mm lens, this is the Samyang 35 f1.8, do not buy this lens. I really like this lens, but it doesn't focus. I don't know if I just have a bad copy or what, but this is a terrible, terrible lens. But I like the focal length and I like the 1.8 aperture. But this lens in particular is terrible. However, I can swap out, my point is I could swap out the 90mm lens on here and put the 35mm lens on there, and I have more options, more variety. All that to say, I don't know in 2025 if this is a camera that most people, or even, I don't think this is a camera us hobbyists should buy. Or, I shouldn't say we should buy because I'm not going to count anyone's pockets, but this is a camera I wouldn't buy, nor would I encourage or suggest anyone buy this camera, because I feel like there are just so many more options, right? You could pick up the XT5 for a quarter of that price. Right now I have the 23mm lens on here. You can get an 18mm lens. I have a 28mm lens, like pancake lens for this one, so it makes it even smaller. Like, you have options that, again, is not medium format, but even like the X100 line, I've never recommended that camera to people just because, again, it is limiting. And I know it's like Fuji's best selling camera because of TikTok, social media, and celebrityism. But at the same time, it's as easy as it is, it's also very limiting. And for the price, it's not a cheap camera, the X100 line. And not to mention the medium format camera that's coming out. For the price, there are just so many more options out there. Even if you want a fixed lens, solution, if you just want to go out with a fixed lens camera like this, there's options that are way cheaper. And, again, 61 megapixels is overkill, but you have a good amount of resolution. So if you wanted to crop in and create like digital X-pan images or 1:1 images, like you have options. And again, I know medium format, it has a certain look to it, and for some people this is going to be like their dream everyday carry camera, but I just don't know if it's for most of us. And when I think of, and I do believe every photographer should have an everyday carry camera, preferably a pocket camera. And again, the one I always recommend is the GR3 or the GR3X, because it is, in my opinion, as perfect of a pocket camera as you're going to get. And that's not even to mention that this is an old camera. It doesn't have an EVF, doesn't have flash, but it has everything else that you need for an everyday carry camera. And it's just as small, like it's smaller than my iPhone, like lengthwise. And it just fits literally in a pocket. You can put it in a small bag. You can put it in your jacket pocket. You can put it in your back pocket. And it can just go with you everywhere you want to go. Now, if Fuji was going to come out with a fixed pocket, everyday carry pocket camera, I wish they would update the Fujifilm XF10. This camera, to me, could be the greatest selling Fuji camera ever. It is a fixed lens, 28mm full frame equivalent lens. This one has 24 megapixel sensor. No, 16. I can't remember. 16 or 24. I can't remember. But it has a APS-C sensor. So if they made this made this camera. Let's say they upped it to 24 megapixels, or hell, you can even put in the 40 megapixel sensor from the X100 line, since you already have them. Same lens, USB Type C, some internal storage, at least 24 gigabytes of internal storage. This would be a camera that I could recommend everyone buying. I would buy an updated version of this. Mine is falling apart. the dials don't work as well, and it's an older camera, and I've used it a lot. And when it does, like, when I can get an image out of this camera, to this day, I think it takes the best quality images out of all the cameras I have, like straight out of camera JPEGs. This one still takes amazing images. It's just autofocus is terrible. This one even has a flash on it, like a small flash. So I've used some flash photography just for fun. Like, this is the camera they should buy. They should make an updated version of this, and I think it would sell gangbusters. And I know they don't want to take away from the X100 line. I get it. But these are the type of cameras that people could use, and I think would be more appealing than a medium format camera. And again, I'm not against medium format. Like I said, if I found a GFX50R for under, $600, $500 more realistically, I would pick one up. And then I would just have to save up for a lens. But I would pick one up and play with it and use it because it looks fun, and it's a camera I want to collect. I won't lie. Like, I just want to collect that camera and also use it. I'm not just going to sit on a shelf and look at it and talk about my precious, but I would actually use it every now and again. Let me know down in the comments, the medium format everyday carry camera something you're interested in? Is it something that you think Fuji should be, making? Clearly, they're not going to listen to what I have to say or what you have to say, but we can vote with our dollars, obviously. And also, would you all be interested in an updated Fujifilm XF10? Again, a little pocket camera. And there is the Ricoh GR3X. So in reality, I feel like just go buy a Ricoh GR3, and you have the same camera. Also, if you love listening to a middle-aged man ramble about photography, showing off his photography, talking about his photography gear and the philosophy of photography, please hit the like and subscribe button, but also join the Discord, Life in Focus Discord. I had to think about it for a second. It's growing, and I'm in there. I'm in there daily these days, posting pictures, sharing tips. Again, it's a place to be if you just want to talk about photography. There's no algorithms, there's no social media pressure. It's just a place for people to just share pictures, talk photography gear, and all that good stuff. I will be leaving a question about this same camera in the Discord because I'm interested in what people have to say over there about this camera. But again, are you interested in a medium format everyday carry fixed lens camera? Me personally, I'm not interested in it. I think it's a miss by Fujifilm, but I'm not running that company. Thank you as always for watching this video. I look forward to chatting with you down in the comments, and I will see you next one. Talk to you later. Bye bye.